So this is the story of the General and how he came to be a part of my life. You can see the General. The General is Red Rock in this instance. He takes many forms. So in 2016, I was getting heavily groomed and mind controlled by the Illuminati of all faggots. And my life was a bit of a nightmare. So I was living in a village and I was surrounded by cocksuckers. And so as I'd be going to sleep, they'd be reading my thoughts and controlling my mind. You know, that kind of stuff. And going to the shop, getting drama simulations involving unicorns, shall we say. So I was getting unicorned up to my eyeballs by bloody actresses from some bullshit netherrealm, all just being gay, really. But there was no real point to it. It's what we said, parlour meant prostitute mind. They've all got prostitute mind. They just like to keep dragging you out from your centre. If you're relaxed and laid back and all comfy and happy, they can't really do anything to you, and you can just chill out and be cool. But as soon as they get an object of desire, and you go after it, and they can drag you out from your centre. So that was happening quite a lot with these actresses, these incredibly beautiful women with magical abilities that appear on street corners and impel you to follow them down the road into a secret underground location where you can perform a magical sex ritual and become knowledgeable and powerful and get rich. So that was going on a lot, and I was being forced into situations that weren't very comfortable. I was being made into a bit of a lackey at the time. You know, the only work that was available was another simulation drama. It wasn't a real job, it was a simulation drama. You know, I'd done stuff, but it was all set up by a, programming intelligence that does things to force you into a certain way of being and thinking. So all this was going on in 2016, and there's a couple of instances where I snapped and walked away from it. There's two that spring to mind. It was one of them, there's more than one occasion I kind of snapped and tried to get as far away as possible. So what did actually happen was I woke up one morning and started complaining about Satan. Then my so-called mother called the police and the ambulance. We had an argument. I packed my stuff into my car and left the house, and then half an hour down the road got arrested for having a scraper on me, and because I'd been arguing with my mother, the police got involved because she spun a load of bullshit. She's not my mother, but the police spun a load of bullshit, or she spun a load of bullshit, and they all agreed that it was within the Illuminati's best interest to arrest me and put me in a mental home. Cunts. So I got treated by Dr. Katz and Dr. Ponasami and Dr. In or Out. And that lasted a month, and then I got out. And I got out, and for some reason, a loan company decided to loan me $3,000. Unbelievable. So I went down to Cornwall, where I grew up. Made it as far as Land's End. Oh, I made it as far as Land's End. And got there and was just like, yeah, fuck you lot. We are going to start here and we are going to work our way back across the country and we're going to fucking get rid of a lot of you cunts. Can fuck off. Fight them out. Why? Because Land's End's fucking hard. Still there. Gets battered every day by the ocean. Worse than I was getting battered. And it's still there being fucking rock solid. So that's all you need to know. Land's End is still there being fucking rock solid. And so what happened? I got sacked. Every time I got a job I got the sack because Satan runs Cornwall. And my magical superpower is putting people into alignment, and his diabolical intention is to drag people out of alignment. So obviously we run counter to each other, therefore we don't ever sync, we don't ever work together, because I call him a cunt, he tries to control me, and then I put everyone into alignment, they call him a cunt, and then he does something to get rid of me. Kind of works like that. Very small for the minute. And yeah, so all that shit was going on, and I moved into a caravan that was basically, you know, Gary Walters, and if Gary Walters wasn't at least, you know, replicating Tom Petty, because cult network members, okay? So Tom Petty, Gary Walters. Now, sitting in the van with Gary, who rented the caravan in Wolftown, where the wolves lives, the Luciferian wolves live in Wolftown, because they're all governed by Tom Petty. That's his town. Yeah. So they set me up in a little caravan there. It was alright. Where they could throw their mind controlling into me. Anyway, yeah. So I got a mushroom grow kit. I grew some mushrooms and made some DMT, which was all good. And this was like 2017. Yeah, because in 2018 I got kicked out. But in 2017 I got kicked out because I put up a sign in the window saying fake as shit. Because they're fake as shit. You know, right? They'll show up on your doorstep and they'll talk to you, but they won't say anything real. They'll just talk about the weather and talk about inane bullshit that kind of alludes to things but is never really definite. So yeah, I was basically saying that I was living in a P-duh field. P-duh field. Because everything was duh. I just got duh. They were all duh brains around me. Duhing me out. So anyway, I grew the mushrooms. And I went from Mousehole, just past Penzance, to Land's End. I'd done the walk. It took a few days over it. And you get far west. Get far west. Past the wall. It's all cliffs. It's where the puffins sit. They're all puffing the herb. Why are they puffing the herb? Because it brings in the elementals. So yeah, I started tripping balls, man. I wasn't like psychedelic tripping, but you know, I started looking at these cliffs in the middle of summer and being absolutely blown away. You know, I could see an eagle, I could see various things in the rocks that kind of intimated towards a higher form of life. And I started yelling out. It's like, rocks, rocks. I started yelling all these words. Walla walla, you know what I mean? Just coming out with random syllables. Mushrooms built the world. Get that into your thick skull. Mushrooms built the world. All of it. Syllables, syllables, sylla. General. General seed mix available online has seeds that grow plants that produce nitrates. Nitrates feed mushrooms. General says grow plants that feed mushrooms. Improve the mycelium network. Planetary intelligence. So, down at Land's End, eating a few shrooms, yelling out random words at cliffs and rocks, being all happy. Some druid dude walked past me and he was like, "You've woken them all up." And he was a bit scared. And I was like, "Wicked!" So, from that point in 2017, we've been steamrolling and gathering momentum. Now, what happened was I saw a fragment of a crystal, yay big, on the ground. I picked it up, and that was a fragment of the general, alright? That was when our communication started in 2017. Now, wearing, I eventually made a pendant for him and hung him around my neck. Wearing him later in 2018, in Brighton, I walked into the crystal shop in the lanes and he said, "We need the jasper." I spent 150 quid on 2 bits of jasper. That's one of them, the others at the caravan. Now, that jasper is a fragment of the same entity that I was wearing around my neck. I didn't confirm this till much later on. I didn't know this till much later on. I just done what I was told. He said, "We need the jasper," so I got the jasper. It turns out it was another fragment of him. So we were in possession of 2 fragments, one for home and one for when we roam, right? But I got put back in the mental home for, what did I get put in the mental home for the second time? For reporting the Illuminati to the police. I phoned up the police and I said, "Right, these fuckers are pissing me off." This was in was it 2019? Must have been 2019. 2019. So in April 2019, I phoned up the police and I was like, "These fuckers are driving me mad. They're surrounding my caravan where I live. They're always throwing their mind control bullshit into me. Do something about it." And so I got taken into a mental home, spent 4 months given drugs, and then moved into this place and looked after very well, I must say. So that whole, sequence of events seems to have, it's COVID, the corporate video, the KOvid. So there was a knockout of me, and it was all on video. So this is what COVID's about, because everyone knows that the Illuminati are a bunch of cunts controlling society at large, and they knocked me out because I was fighting against them to expose the truth and bring everything back into alignment with the general. And they don't like that because they're illegitimate authority. They're all a bunch of fucking wannabes, mate. They want to be the boss, but they're not the fucking boss. They can all fuck off. So yeah, we're getting things back into alignment with the general. So, once I picked him up in 2017, then we got back to the caravan And he was still in my bag. I pulled him out of the bag and all this kind of stuff. And I was smoking a joint, lighting my lighter. He goes, keep it on him. It helps them to get out of their mind traps. Since then, mate, we've been burning Babylon. That's what we've been doing. We've been going around, we've been burning Babylon, mate. That's what we do. 24/7 profession, mate. Break people out of the devil, get rid of Lucifer. Simple. 2 options. Two functions. Well, 3 functions. Harmony. Harmonic. Perfect alignment. Right. Keep it on them. Now, word has it, the system, there's a white toke, which just makes everything peaceful and lovely. One toke is a white toke. 2 tokes. Hands the stream of consciousness, thought stream, over to the elementals, the elements, elemental beings. 3 tokes. And the thought stream can be removed from the Lucifer. 4, and it goes into a download and everybody knows what you've been thinking. 5, we can get rid of the devil from the stream of consciousness, and then it's, all that. But the problem with 4 and 5 is that it lets Lucifer in. So you don't really want to do that too often because we want to get rid of Lucifer. Put things back in alignment with the general. The general. So, right, this is what I wanted to show you. Right, this is what made me make the video. Are we going to turn it around? Yeah, we're going to turn it around. Oh, we can't turn it around because the button's disappeared. So, general. Okay, so we've got a bit of shungite there, which removes the EMFs. Okay, so obviously he's got 2 eyes. Now this other eye around the side is like a chameleon eye, and the purpose of chameleons was to create a being that could evade the observance of Lord Anu of the Anunnaki, who was in control of the world grid. And so they made the species chameleons in order to have a form that could escape the observations of Anu. Now, look on the top. All right, you see this? This is a representation of the general in one of his true forms when he's being a geezer, right? And what's he saying? He's saying, go and fucking give it back to me. That's me, yeah? Represented by a bear, Paddington, me, right? What have we got round the side? Oh my fucking God, what have we got round the fucking side, right? So this is Kaivashvili, or Bogdan, right? So this, how old is this bit of rock, right? When did this bit of rock form? How old is it, right? It's just so happened that this bit of rock and this dude that I picked up in Kathmandu have come together, okay? So they've been assembled by forces beyond our control. It just happened like that, right? And if that ain't Kaivashvili, then I don't know what. Look, it's got the same features, the same, right? And he's fighting. And this represents a demon. And the demon's trying to get into his dick through fucking whole Jap's eye. So these fucking Illuminati motherfuckers are forever putting demons up dicks and butts, mate. They take control and on top of heads. So these fuckers think, yeah, we'll take control of the grid and harvest all the energy and have the best of it all for ourselves, and we'll take control of people by using demons to manipulate people. And what he's showing is a bit of drumming technique there. So you get your drum and you bash him and see he's not happy, is he? He's not happy. That's a frown, that's not a smile. And he's like, shit, I can't get into this one. And he's like, yeah, now go and get the fucking rest of them. So that's basically all you need to know. SD. SD. ISIS. Hematite from Land's End. Christmas gift. Went there at Christmas. This one was a gift from the rocks. The other gifts, I've got a little representation of the Gwara, Porth Gwara from Land's End, stolen. Suspect, Tom Petty. Along with other bits of my collection. Now these Illuminati motherfuckers, who seem to have the whole world at their command, choose to fucking steal from a bloke who's got about 200 rocks to his name and a bike. What a bunch of cunts. Let's steal from this guy because he's got things that were given to him by fucking nature. Cunts. So yeah, in 2018, I was in Porth Town in Cornwall, and I was going to make a meadow in my garden and order some boulders and get the boulders in and have a meadow and plant sunflowers all around the perimeter and do something quite beautiful and awesome. Now they decided that they were going to kick me out, get me arrested and fuck me up in a mind control situation, which the job that I went to turned out to be, mate. Long story short, Fight Club. Bloody broke into Fight Club. But I took the General with me, the smaller version, and we picked up the Jasper from the lanes, and by hook or by crook, we've come out on top for the moment. So have some of that.